Hey guys, welcome back. Timmy Trico coming at you again with another top 10 list. Today I'm giving you my top 10 favorite movies of all time. Now, this list was really hard to do. I had several hundred movies for this list that I think could potentially be on my top 10, but I finally narrowed it down to just 10 movies. I was going to do some honorable mentions, but I'm just going to stick with the 10. This is my updated list as of July 7th, 2018. Even though I'm doing this video on July 25th, 2018, I did this list a few weeks ago. I'm just now getting around to doing the videos. It's been a couple weeks since I did some videos for my channel. I've been real busy with doctor's appointments and all that stuff. But without further ado, here's my top 10 all-time favorite movies as of July 7th, 2018. This list can always change along with several others. So, coming number 10 is Friday the 13th Part 2. I've always had a soft spot for this movie. It is my favorite in the franchise. It literally scared the crap out of me when I was a kid. Jason wearing the bag over his head with the one eye, it was so terrifying for me. I was 4 years old when this movie came out, and I finally watched it for the first time. And yeah, I just loved it. After the release of the first movie, which I loved, this one just really connected with me. And the kills in this movie are fantastic. The story, the final girl in this movie, Amy Steele, is my favorite of the franchise. Her, along with some other characters from other Friday the 13th movies, are getting together to do another Friday the 13th short or something that I've seen on their Wikipedia page. They haven't announced it yet, but I'm really looking forward to that. I don't know if they're going to release it via YouTube or YouTube Red or Netflix. I don't know all that, but I am looking forward to that. But yeah, Friday the 13th Part 2. 1981. I love this movie, and I love the Friday the 13th franchise. It's my favorite horror franchise of all time as well. Coming to number 9 is Grease. This is my favorite musical of all time. It still holds up to this day. I love the characters, the songs, the story. It's just all fantastic. How can you not sing along with this movie is beyond me. John Travolta he's so awesome in this movie. Stockyard Channing, Olivia Newton-John, Jeff Conway. The list goes on and on. I love everything about this movie. The soundtrack for this movie alone is worth it. John Travolta can really sing. We all know Olivia Newton-John can sing, but she's a really good actress too. I think she's underrated in my opinion. Although I haven't seen any other of her movies. I don't know if she's done anymore, but I love Grease. It's my favorite musical. Yeah, I just don't know how you can't appreciate it and not have it on the top 10 list. I love this movie. I watch it at least once a year, or whenever it's on TV, I'll watch it. And yeah, it's a great movie. Coming to number 8 is the original 1978 Halloween, John Carpenter's masterpiece, the best slasher movie of all time, in my opinion. Although I love Friday the 13th Part 2, it is my favorite in the franchise. But the best slasher movie of all time is Halloween, hands down. And some people say that the original 1974 Black Christmas was the first slasher movie, which isn't the case. There were slasher movies made before that. And I'm not going to get into specifics or arguments with that. I'm just saying Black Christmas didn't start the slasher genre, as some people claim that it did. But Halloween is a classic. It's got great characters. PJ Souls, Jamie Lee Curtis. I just Donald Pleasance. I love this movie. It is a classic. It still holds up to this day. This movie was made on a limited budget, and it just kicked ass at the box office. Now, initially, it didn't make a lot of money, and they were getting ready to pull it from theaters until one weekend in one of the bigger markets that it got a lot of praise and a lot of fanfare, and people just started showing up. So they decided to release it even wider, and it took off. This movie terrorized people for over 40 years, and now 40 years now. But yeah, it is a great slasher movie, a great horror movie. John Carpenter's best, in my opinion. Close second would be The Thing, but yeah, it's a great movie. It is one of my favorites of all time. Coming to number 7 is a comedy that came out in 2009. That was a huge hit, and that is The Hangover. And yes, I have a poster of it over there on my wall, which I can't show you right now. I don't want to turn the camera or anything, but it has Zach Galifianakis in his tight shirt. And it says his favorite quote about the wolf pack. And yeah, it is a great movie. Great characters, great story, great direction. The story of them waking up from a drunken night and they can't find their friend, and they wake up with a tiger in their room, and they don't remember anything that happened that night. And so they have to retrace their steps, and pardon me. And it's just hilarious what they go through to find out what happened to their friend. And the whole entire time, if you haven't seen the movie, spoiler alert, he's on top of the roof of their own hotel, which is hilarious when you find out when it happens. They see him and find him. But they go through a lot to try and retrieve their friend. And Bradley Cooper, Ed Helms, Zach Galifianakis, the perfect trio for this comedy. A lot of great side characters. And yeah, it's just an hilarious movie. It is one of my favorite comedies of all time. And yeah, it stands the test of time, and a lot of laughs, and definitely worth the top spot in my top 10 movies of all time. Coming to number 6 is from 1984. This is by far one of the best movies, not only of all time, but of a lot of these actors' careers, and that is Ghostbusters from 1984. This movie set the stage for Paranormal Activity. Dan Aykroyd and Harold Ramis wrote this movie. Initially, they had John Belushi playing Bankman in this movie, but he passed away, sadly, from a drug overdose. So Bill Murray was cast in that role, which was an excellent choice for a substitution. Quite frankly, I don't know what the movie would be if it had John in it or not. I think it still would have been great. But yeah, this movie is fantastic. It follows 3 friends who are booted out of college and decide to go into business for themselves to catch ghosts. And the special effects for this movie are amazing for 1984. One of the best villains towards the end, the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. Nobody steps on a church in my town. Yeah, this movie has so many quotable lines. You have Harold Ramis, Dan Aykroyd, Bill Murray, Ernie Hudson, Sigourney Weaver, Rick Moranis. And Rick Moranis' part was supposed to be played by John Candy, but they had some differences with the character and everything between him and executives and Dan and Harold. So he was recast, and so Harold Ramis or Rick Moranis got the part. Annie Potts, who plays the secretary, she's fantastic. I just love everything about this movie, and it stands the test of time. The sequel was good, but doesn't compare to the original. And the remake, which I really enjoyed, which I can argue about that all day, but I won't get into that. But Ghostbusters 1984 is a classic, and it will continue to impress and entertain audiences for centuries to come. It's just one of those movies. Number 5 is a movie probably a lot of people don't know about. It's a movie I grew up watching on Betamax of all things. If you don't know what the Betamax is, it is a smaller version of the VHS tape, about 2 to 3 inches smaller, but that's what movies were on. And I remember this movie. I love this movie. I watch it at least once a year if I get the chance to. And it centers around a gang called the Wanderers in the Bronx, New York, and they're in high school, and they have many rivals in this movie. They have the Baldies, the Ducky Boys, the Dell Bombers, and basically they have to fight for their life on the mean streets of the Bronx. And the soundtrack to this movie, by far, is one of the best of all time. If I could do a top 10 list of the best soundtracks for movies, this would be definitely top 2, in my opinion. Maybe even number 1, in my opinion. But the movie is great. You have Karen Allen in the movie, who, yes, she was in Raiders of the Lost Ark and Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, Animal House as well. Tony Gagnos in this movie. He played Meat Tuparello in the Porky's trilogy, along in Die Hard 2. He was one of the villains in the movie, who Bruce Willis kills outside of the church. But I love this movie. This movie came out several months after another classic from 1979, The Warriors. And both these movies have the same Rotten Tomatoes score. I believe it's 82 or 83%. But I can talk about The Warriors another time. The Wanderers, I love the characters. Joey, Turkey, Perry. It's just an amazing movie. Not only about gangs, but about being a teenager, being in love, pregnancy, and fighting for what you believe in, fighting for your territory, and sticking up for yourself. And there's a fight scene in the third act of this movie that is the best fight scene that I have seen in movies, period. I love it. It's about 6 minutes long. It takes place on a football field. You can Google this and check it out on YouTube. Type in The Wanderers fight scene and you'll see it. But definitely watch this movie. It's freaking awesome. I can't talk enough about this movie. It starts off with 2 wanderers walking up and approaching a gang called the Baldies, because one of them, Turkey, wants to join the Baldies and he shaved his head. Well, they end up pissing him off, and they're being chased through the streets of the Bronx. And that's how it gets started. And from there, it's just a whirlwind of fights, heartbreak, and tragedy. There is a part in this movie that I cry every time I watch, and you'll find out why. Alan Rosenberg plays Turkey. He was married to Marg Helgenberger, who played Catherine Willows in CSI, and he was on a few episodes of that TV series in the mid-2000s. So I love this movie. I can't talk enough about it. I highly recommend you go out and watch it. And it's definitely one of my favorite movies of all time. Coming number 4 is 2012's The Avengers. The Avengers is by far my favorite superhero movie. I can't talk enough about this movie. I watch it all the time when it's on TV. I can't get enough, especially the third act. Hulk smash. Great scene there. I love when the captain is giving out the orders, because Iron Man tells him to call it, and he deals it out, and they just fall in line and they go. And I love that. That's why Captain America is my favorite Marvel's cinematic universe superhero. But it is a great movie from start to finish. You get the Hulk, you get Thor, Black Widow, Hawkeye, Captain America, of course, and Iron Man. What could be better than that? I love this movie. Like I said, I can't talk enough about it. They have to take on Loki, who is the brother of Thor, as he's trying to take over the world and destroy everything in sight. And I love this movie. And for right now, I don't think there's going to be another movie in the superhero franchise that is going to top this one. We'll see, because I have yet to see Avengers Infinity War. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. But yeah, Avengers number 4, freaking awesome. Coming number 3 is my favorite John Hughes movie of all time. That is The Breakfast Club. Again, The Breakfast Club has some of the greatest scenes and characters of all time. You have Ali Sheedy, Anthony Michael Hall, Judd Nelson, Emilio Estevez, Molly Ringwald, and the late great Paul Gleason, and John Kapelos as the janitor. I love this movie. It centers around 5 kids who are sent to Saturday detention for doing things bad at school. You have the brain, you have the basket case, the criminal, the jock, and the princess. And what can be more perfect in a high school setting with those characters? And to have all those different characters and 5 personalities in the same room is phenomenal. This movie is so quotable. My favorite character is Judd Nelson. He plays the criminal in the movie. He's great in this movie. I love the whole cast. Paul Gleason is phenomenal. He's really funny. Don't mess with the polio, man. You'll get the horns. Classic lines. And the next screw that falls out is going to be you. I love this movie. It is a classic. It still holds up the day. This is another movie that is going to be seen for centuries to come. This movie is so appreciated and so loved by a lot of people. And I love the soundtrack. I love the story. I love everything about this. It is John Hughes' best work, in my opinion, and definitely one of my favorite movies of all time. Coming to number 2 is from 1980. It is The Blues Brothers. God, I love this movie. John Belushi, Dan Aykroyd are at their best. This is based off their Saturday Night Live skit, The Blues Brothers. It is one of the best movies to come out of Saturday Night Live. Actually, I think it is the best movie to come out of Saturday Night Live. And the 2 lead characters, Jake and Elwood, phenomenal. The singing, the characters. Again, you have Jake and Elwood. Jake is recently released from prison. Elwood picks him up, and they want to get the band back together. So they have to go around collecting up all their bandmates who have taken on different jobs. And their adventure to do this is so amazing. They get pulled over by cops. Elwood has a suspended license, so they're on the run. They want to raise money to save an orphanage in their town of Chicago. And it is great. John Candy is in this movie. Henry Gibson is in this movie. I can't remember who else is in this movie, but it is phenomenal. You can quote this movie. You sing along. Who wants an orange whip? Orange whip? Orange whip? 3 orange whips. Yes, I freaking love this movie. It is a great musical. Yes, it's a musical comedy. John Landis directed this movie. He did a phenomenal job with this. Dan Aykroyd, John Belushi, their chemistry is phenomenal. I love the band. Like I said, the songs they do in this movie are great. And yeah, it is a fantastic movie. One that I think will be around for generations to come. And I just can't say enough about it. Yeah, definitely worth the number 2 spot on my list. And my number 1 favorite movie of all time. If you don't know what it is, you don't know me, because it's been my favorite movie since it came out of all time. In 1994, it won the Oscar for Best Actor. That is Forrest Gump. Forrest Gump is a masterpiece, and it is the best movie. Robert Zemeckis directed this movie. I love the character of Forrest Gump. Tom Hanks did a phenomenal job in this movie. The fact that a simpleton goes through all these different historical U.S. events in our history is phenomenal. From the Vietnam War to meeting Elvis in his own house, for Pete's sakes, to being a college superstar, to being a great businessman, like I said, serving in the Vietnam War, being a hero, meeting the president, different presidents several times, the Watergate scandal, running for 3.5 years, and of course, it's a love story. Jade. I love Robin Wright in this movie. She should have got some recognition for her work, along with Sally Field and Gary Sinise. I was really disappointed they didn't get hardly any recognition for their performances. Even the gentleman who played Bubba was phenomenal in this movie. I loved his character. There's no character in this movie that I didn't enjoy. The bullies in the beginning of the movie, when they're chasing Forrest, Forrest's mom, it's a great story of love, relationships, heartache, and the things that Forrest has to go through. It's just really tear-jerking, and at the same time heartwarming too, because his love for Jenny is beyond anybody's imagination. And I love the fact that he finally gets the girl, although it takes a long time. I'm not a smart man, but I know what love is. I can quote this movie from start to finish. Tom Hanks is phenomenal. It is my favorite movie with him. It's my favorite movie of all time. It starts off with him as a young child, going through his high school years, and him and Jenny go their separate ways. She's more into the rock scene, doing drugs, and there's a lot of talk about, in the end of the movie, she reveals that she has some disease and they don't know what it is, and there's nothing they can do about it. It's AIDS. It's what she's got, the HIV virus. And that was just the tip of the iceberg. That's when they're getting to know the HIV virus and AIDS. And although they don't disclose it in the movie, but that's what I think it is. I think a lot of people would agree with that. But Forrest grows up. He goes through college being a football star, to going to the Vietnam War, to having his own business, Bubblegum Shrimp, and saving Lieutenant Dan and a lot of his unit from being ambushed. And yeah, it's an amazing movie. The special effects alone are phenomenal. I can go on and on about this movie, but if you haven't seen this movie, then what the hell are you thinking? It is phenomenal. Definitely check it out. It is my all-time favorite movie. I don't ever think it'll be topped, but like I said, we'll revisit this list on July 7th, 2019 and see if anything has changed with this list and the other 3 videos that I did earlier. So with that, that is my top 10 favorite movies of all time as of July 7th, 2018. Even though I'm doing this video on July 25th, 2018. In the comment section below, give me your top 10 movies of all time. Did you agree with my list? Did you not agree with my list? And just let me know. Let's have fun. Let's talk about movies. This is what it's all about. If you love movies just like I do, let's talk about it. I love it. If you're new to this channel, don't forget just hit that subscribe button, hit the little bell icon, and let's talk movies. If you like this video, hit the like button and share my videos. I would love to talk with more and more people about movies. And if you comment on my videos, I will try to answer all that I can. And yeah, I appreciate you guys for supporting my channel. And I'll see you guys next time in my next top 10 list.